Hi, this is Dennis Kucinich. When I was on Stephen Colbert's and I reached into my pocket and I pulled out a Constitution of the United States, this is actually the one that I had, it was a fun moment. But this week, when I hold up the Constitution on the floor of the House of Representatives, I may not have a smile on my face, because I'm going to be reminding members of Congress that the Vice President of the United States violated his oath of office. And that Vice President, because he violated this oath of office and took this country into a war based on lies, needs to be held accountable under this Constitution. And I carry this with me to remind people the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution are the basis of our governance. It's what makes this country a democracy. And if we forget the principles that are outlined here, we're going to lose our democracy. When I stand up and speak out in areas that other people won't, it's because I know everything's on the line today. Not just people's jobs and their health care and the education of their children and their retirement security, all things that I care deeply about and have stood for defending, but also peace in the world, the stability and security of the world. Recently, President Bush invoked the specter of World War III with respect to Iran. Why didn't Congress challenge him at that moment with articles of impeachment? We need to have a president who's willing to say the right thing and do the right thing, who's temperate, and who's also courageous, willing to stand up for what's right. I couldn't be pushed into a war 5 years ago when some other candidates were. I couldn't be forced into voting for funding a war throughout the past 5 years when many of the candidates for president did. Often I've stood alone among all candidates for president calling for the end to the war now, having our troops home in 3 months, stabilizing Iraq with an international security and peacekeeping force that moves in as our troops leave, having a new national security approach of strength through peace, the end of unilateralism, preemption, and first strike, creating an approach that adheres to international law, that works with the world community through a president who directly engages the leaders of the world in an open dialogue, eye to eye, heart to heart. We need leadership which is courageous, wise, and right. And I've been able to demonstrate, among and above all candidates for president, a capacity for doing the right thing when it counted the most, for being the only one running for president who voted against the Patriot Act, the only one who stands for canceling NAFTA and our relationship with the WTO and having trade based on workers' rights, human rights, and environmental quality principles. And the only one who stands for a not-for-profit healthcare system, so that 46 million Americans who are uninsured, another 50 million Americans who are underinsured, will finally have the care they need, and that all Americans will have the care they need, not have to go broke trying to get health care for themselves or their families. I'm running for president so America takes a new direction both here at home and in the world. But I can't do that without your help. I'm asking you to go to the Democracy For America website now and indicate your support for the very things that I've just talked about by voting for me in their poll. I'm asking for your support in this poll and for you to communicate this to your friends and family and everyone on your email list so that we can send a message to the rest of America that times are changing, that a real Democrat is ready to come forward to lead this nation in a new direction, where we stop the acceleration of wealth upwards, where we stop resource wars, where we end global warring and global warming, where we create a government which respects people's individual liberties and which is determined to make sure that the economic opportunities that every person in democracy has a right to expect will be there. So I'm asking for your support. Please go to that website now, Democracy For America. Get engaged in this campaign. Help us move forward. We've already moved up to 4th place in national polls, 4th in New Hampshire. We're starting to move up. and it's with your support. Help us move up some more. Go to the Democracy for America website. Join our campaign. Vote for me in the poll, and vote for me in the primaries and caucuses. Let's create this new America that we know is just waiting to be called forward. We can do it together. Thank you.